I'm sitting here. I got 30 miles to go. There's no chance that I'm stopping. We're just gonna get to this venue.
There we go. Well, welcome everybody to the Strength Hammer podcast. This is Chuck, and I got Neil on the line here. He's driving to the great and amazing Brewhammer. Is that the name? Is it?
Brewhammer, Columbus Brewhammer. Yes.
There we go. There we go. I'm currently bringing up the best coast pairings list of that. So Neil, how far out are you from the? I don't want to say from the venue, but from Columbus in general. I know you're not staying at the venue. Although
Uh,
as exciting as it would be for us to go to an event and stay at the bar.
yeah. Oh, be amazing. No, I'm about an hour and a half out right now, and we just had level 3 snow emergencies over the last day and a half, and there's no snow on the road, and it is smooth sailing right now. So
Yeah, actually, it's funny out my way, and obviously I live in Pittsburgh, so 3 hours from Columbus, 3 hours from you up in Akron too. Honestly, a little more than that. But actually had flood warning, and I got some water in my basement because all the rain and the snow melt because we had like 7 inches of snow still. And
yeah.
then after that it just froze. So I'm drying out my basement while it's freezing outside, and then now it's snowing again. And I got another 2 inches. That's just like great. I wish I was
Oh,
coming with you there to Brewhammer.
would have been great.
I'm doing great. Unfortunately, I was too slow on the ticket sales, and I never jumped on a wait list. But that's something next year. I want to come to this next year. You showed me the venue earlier. Like I actually finally looked at it. That's amazing what they're doing out there.
Yeah, it is. I gotta really hand it. It's I think it's Chris Steele, and I hope I said his last name right. And then I think Steve Mata is playing a role as well in
Hmm.
running this event. So the pack is legit. The
Yep.
venue looks legit. I'm just really impressed with what the guys have put together, and I'm sure it's going to be awesome when we get down there. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, and I think you're right. Like I think Chris Steele and Steven Mata. I know Steven was doing a lot of the terrain work, and my God, he's Steven Mata. He's the personal hero of mine. I'll say that.
Oh yeah,
That's why.
he's gonna get a couple beers bought for him this weekend for sure.
Oh my goodness. Well, like months ago, I was kind of going back and forth, even on like their Twitter, and just going like, maybe I'll just show up randomly, hang out, drink beer, and get in the way. And they're like, you can be a random guest TO, and it's just like, I
No.
would just drink and get in the way. I do
Yeah.
look forward to coming to next year. Although I'm excited. On the 19th, I'm going out to Martin Orlando's event with Matt. Hashtag Hey
Nice.
Matt. It's a one dayer team event, but it's 4 hours away out near Philly, on the other side of Philly. So I'll get a Warhammer event in this week. But what are you running out there at Brewhammer? I got the pack up now. I'm gonna kind of scroll through it as you
I,
talk through it.
I've got my I got my Soul Blight Grave Lord, so we're gonna give that a run. It's the models I have list, right? So
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
I, I did purchase 60 zombies, of which I'm running a unit of 20 and a unit of 40 of those. So
Nice.
um, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so I got zombies. I've got a unit of skeletons. I've got 20-man unit of Grave Guard,
Hmm.
and then outside of that, what runs the list is Manfred's in it, Belladama, um, Radikar the Beast, and
Hmm.
then a Vampire Lord.
I'm still
I
sad
got a
you didn't
Corpse
bring
Guard in there as
Neferata.
well.
Still sad you didn't bring Neferata. She's my bane
Yeah,
whenever we play.
I know.
I hate her. I love her. I love her as a character. I hate her on the table.
That -1 to hit bubble is
Oh,
just not as strong as Manfred's +1 to hit, +1 to wound.
that's fair.
So yeah, it's I want to bring her, but for the points, I think she needs to be. I don't know. She might be right. It's that 5+ when you hit with that dagger, just to take anything off the board is pretty nice. But
It is. You just pop my
yeah,
Hag
I don't
Queens
know.
left and right whenever you bring her.
She, she didn't make the cut this time. That's all right.
That's all right.
See,
It's all
we'll,
good.
we'll run her in that list with that's all Black Knights and nothing else at some point.
Ah,
That'll
that's how
be
you
fun.
do. I
Yeah.
was at my local shop yesterday, and he has one of the Christmas boxes because I've mentioned it on Mr. Mephisto's chat, and I'm talking to you guys endlessly. Um, if I was to run a Death Army, it'd have to have that Lucavi. I always pronounce her name
Yeah.
wrong, but whatever. You know the
Yeah.
Centaur, big mommy, vampire lady, because I just think she's cool. And he has it, and I was like, I didn't want to spend the $210. Not when I have
Okay.
I'm about to start building finally a whole Drukari army this weekend. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't need my next army lined up just yet, but
Yeah. Those Vengorian lords, everybody talks about them being, a huge hammer unit, and I don't know. I just don't see it. I'd have to see how they're running that thing, but it doesn't seem like it does enough, especially when you compare it to like a zombie or a vampire lord on zombie dragon. But I don't know. That's why I'm bad at this game, and I'm anticipating 0-5, and anything better than that's just going to be gravy. So
I see. That's the thing though. Like this past year, running the U.S. Open events alongside some other great people, I was not competing at anything because events weren't really happening. The events that did happen was the Rent 4 event, my club events, all kind of local stuff. And I was just kind of having fun and being more narrative or just painting armies of this looks cool or I want to run this. So even like when I've looked at Luke of I and like the monster dragons, I'm like I'm not looking at it to try and win. I'm looking at it as in what army do I want to paint that looks cool. But
yeah,
I don't know. I've been kind of, especially if the announcement, and I guess we'll talk about it briefly. The next Daughters Kane book coming spring, I think is what the roadmap said.
a while. That's a while off. Huh?
It's a while off. But having play tested it and done all the good stuff with that and given lots of feedback and having a kind of already having a final copy per se, quote unquote final. I mean, it's always subject to change after play testing, but I'm excited to try and push some shit in with it. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to give anything away
Yeah,
and
that'll
break it.
be that'll be interesting. We'll see how that goes. See what they do to bring them in line.
It's yeah, it'll be good to see. I'm real it's
I
like
won't ask you to do that.
I want to talk about it so much, but I know I can't for a long time. But man, it's like it's at the point though. This is where I finally reached a point of playtesting, I guess. There's a little side note
Now, the
where
real
I want to play the new book because I have it technically in a weird way, not officially, but unofficially through playtesting. I
yeah.
have it. I want to play it,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and I don't want to play the old one now. And it's just like, dang it,
Oh
I
yeah.
got months before I can.
I remember, was it before the last book or maybe 2 books ago when same situation was going on? You knew what the rules were, but you couldn't play them, and you couldn't tell anybody what they were, and you just kind of waiting. I think it was maybe the switch over to 2.0, and yeah, you're just
Yo,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
just kind of killing you. Yeah,
It's well, whatever. I enjoy
yeah. It's
playtesting
what
because I'm trying to be the part of the solution, not a part of the problem, which is people bitching online for no reason without offering solutions. Yes, I'm calling out lots of people right there.
the
No, I
old
don't care about your feelings.
the old the old helicopter in a tree scenario.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go. There you go. Oh boy. Anyway,
yeah,
back on topic. Brewhammer.
yeah.
Let's see. So
Yes.
they got some house rules. Let's see here. Games will last 5 turns. When timer goes off, it means that the round is over. Players should determine a winner of their game. Can't finish early, but you cannot finish late. Pay attention to the clock. Okay, so they're having a hard dice down for this event, which is that's always a fun thing to see. I know at the U.S. Open events, we had to reach a natural conclusion. So if you can't finish the game, you kind of start walking through it before time allows. You get a TO over if you need someone else, which is I like it because it allows you to reach a satisfactory end to a game between two players, but also when there's 6 tables that have it and you have 2 TOs, kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
What do you,
Yeah, what I will say about that and the hard stop and everything is I really like the hard stop here because they have given us 3 hours for each game,
oh,
right?
okay.
And
All
I've
right.
been seeing a lot of other
Yeah.
places are still running 2.5, and I feel like maybe the intention of 3.0 was for the game to be quicker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For me, it isn't. For me, it's longer. So I really appreciate those 3 hours. When we played our event, your event, the Terathi Invitational there, I didn't have any problem coming in under the time limits and everything, but I really appreciate that 3 hour buffer.
Yeah, it's nice. I think we might have done 3 hours, at least 2:45 at the U.S. Open, and yeah, it's just more time. I mean, come on, there's plenty of time in the evening. Honestly, I'd rather start at 7 in the morning playing Warhammer and still finish at 6, but have more time per round. And you
Yeah,
don't even need to do that. It's just like I'd shorten lunch up. Like just go grab food and eat it while your next game. Like no one's gonna care.
yeah. And they've got Brewhammer's got some food trucks coming and everything too. So I mean,
Yeah,
they got a legit situation down
yeah. I'm
there.
I'm
I'm really pleased.
I'm scrolling down here to the bottom. So obviously they have guard tower, which is I've been to one of the guard tower FLGSs, which is out in the Columbus area.
Yep.
Monument Hobbies, I've heard the name, but I don't know who they are exactly. But they also have Table War, Baron of Dice, and the Army Painter as, I guess, sponsors. Yeah,
Yeah.
sponsors. Which is that? I
It's
mean,
amazing.
that's incredible.
Yep.
Um, which really, I mean, you reach out, you ask, you'll get it. I'm sure. But yeah,
Hmm.
that's. I'm sure the Army Painter. I hope there's some of that new speed paint, their version of Contrast per se. I've heard nothing but good things. I've seen so many YouTube thumbnails about how it's the best thing on earth and blah blah blah. And it's like I'm sure it's good, but
Yeah.
YouTube thumbnails wear you out. But it looks like there's gonna be some good stuff there though. And also, I'm a fan of this
Yeah.
too. In this pack, they told you the battle plans. I
Yeah.
originally I wasn't a fan of this, and then I think it was like the second year Nova, I became a big fan of it. I think if it allows you to choose battle plans that maybe aren't the most cut and dry competitive, because then the people
Uh-huh.
have to think about it and how to plan their armies accordingly. I like the pre planning for players more so than the reactiveness of the day.
Right. Yeah, I probably a lot like you, where I, in my opinion, is just like, okay, well, when I think about it, and I try to put myself in like a general spot. Well, you show up this area on a battlefield, you don't know what the area is,
Hmm.
so that kind of made sense to me. That like,
Yeah, it does.
what
It
it,
does.
but at this point, like, what I like is that they put it out, a few days or a week or whatever beforehand, right?
Yeah,
Or
not
maybe it was even that,
yeah,
and
they
so
didn't
you're
put it
not
out with
sitting
the
there
pack
and like,
immediately. No, it was like within the
right.
last couple weeks. So it's like, oh, okay, so I've had time to paint an army up. I can maybe shift if I need to on something, like add a hero or something.
I think lists had to be in by the time and they released that afterwards. I think.
I think it was
I
the
don't know. I could be wrong.
28th or something. I can't remember.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't that long
28th
ago.
was listed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
just for everyone listening, maybe not. Well, no, actually, these shorter videos I'm not putting out in podcasts. So screw you, podcast people. Haha. So, First Blood, Power Struggle, Feral Foray, Tectonic Interference, and Survival of the Fittest. That's going to be the rounds for this event. They have like nice little FAQ in here. Just some of the basic stuff. Um, like what does dice down mean? Can I use non-GW terrain for my army? The only thing that's actually a rules thing that they decided to talk about was the Nagash benefit of Emerald Knights. Now, granted, that literally got FAQ'd yesterday. little small subtle FAQ, but I get that some events are doing that. That's not really even like a comp level. That's just kind of, hey, everyone's gonna ask me this. I'm just gonna put it in the pack so it's done. Um,
yeah,
which
and I
sure,
think they had the same decision as what the fact came out too, if I'm not mistaken. So
because they made the sensible decision. Every TO
yeah,
did. I
right.
mean, sure. I mean, heck, what was it? The Bellacore one is still a question, and I watched Warhammer Weekly, was it 2 weeks ago? They did their chat on it, and it was really well
Yeah,
laid out. And to me, it hit a little different because I was literally in New Orleans when I had to answer this question. Instead of having a 45-minute debate about whether it's wrong or right, I made a 45-second decision, and I made to the same conclusion. It's just like, okay, this is what works. So
yeah,
is what it is. And then yeah, I do like this. No outside drinks because you're on site at a brewery, but they're still allowing outside food, which is pretty nice.
yeah,
Because I
yeah.
I
Have
could have
those
seen
food
it
trucks there and everything.
been no outside either, which kind of maybe suck, other than sneaking like a protein bar. But yeah, no, it looks like a
I
good
don't,
pack.
I don't, yeah, I don't know how much food they have at the brewery that they.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. So maybe that's why it was allowed. I don't know. I guess I'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's probably something enough. I'm trying to think if there's a link here to the actual location because I'd like to show the venue off a little bit here. Do you remember what it's called, Neil?
Olentangy River Brewing Company.
Brewing company. We're just searching this live. Yeah, there we go. Yep.
Talk amongst yourselves right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Entertain yourselves, as bring up. Yeah, so here is the venue, handcrafted community. Look at that. I mean, this is a beautiful little bar. I like I said, and you
Yeah,
even joked like if I was able to make it out just to hang out, it's not a bad place to hang out for a few days.
yeah. I mean, it looks almost brand new too. I mean, it looks. Yeah.
I wonder how many
I
six
don't. I
six packs to go they're gonna sell at this event because you can
Right.
grab their six packs. That's great. They also have coffee and
Yep.
some other things too. So
Excuse me.
they have a run club. Oh man, I love being fit and loving beer. That's the best
Yep.
thing.
There's a lot of 5K brew runs and stuff around Columbus. I used to do some of them back in the day.
Oh, that's cool. Roosevelt Coffee. Never heard of this. Sorry, I'm just diving in and enjoying this. Cappuccino. Oh man. It's just listen. Okay, Neil. I think you're similar to me. It's you wake up, there's coffee. When you're done with coffee, you
Right.
switch to water. When you're done with work, you switch to beer or whiskey.
I am a little bit different. I wake up,
Okay.
I have my coffee, and then I continue to drink coffee until about 4 o'clock, and then I'll switch to something else.
Okay. Okay.
That's my work day. Tomorrow I'm going to make exception for that. I may have a coffee and then just dive straight into the brews.
There you go. Okay, that's fair. No, that hey, it's a holiday event weekend. You go for it. So
That's
yeah,
right.
like my cutoff for coffee is around 11 o'clock, and then occasionally I'll call it an afternooner. It's a little afternoon pick me up coffee, um, around 2 or 3. But that's rare. I don't always need that. But man, this place looks good. Okay, events and food. Let's see what food they got for you, Neil. Let's get you prepped.
All right. Give me some grub.
Events and food trucks. Okay, so it is food trucks. Okay. So the 5th, you're gonna have Warhammer convention. It's on their calendar. I'm on the calendar on the website.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. So they're gonna have from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, that's wrong. Demos Grill, Fancy Feeding You. Let's see what Demos Grill is and Fancy Feeding You. So this is your meals tomorrow, Neil.
All right. Let's hear it.
Doesn't say anything.
Oh, it doesn't give you the
It's
menu, huh?
doesn't give you. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
I gotta know what kind of grub I'm getting myself into.
I mean, this is important stuff. I'm searching Demos
That's,
Grill
that's,
Columbus
that's right. Other
Street.
people are like, smashing the numbers and trying to figure out, how they're going to deploy tomorrow.
Oh
I'm a
no,
little more worried about the food situation.
that's not what I want. Demos Grill Home Facebook Columbus. Okay, here we go. We're in the Facebook page. I bet there's gonna be a man. This is quality right here. Oh yeah, keep going slower. All right, all right. Let's no, no.
Oh,
Let's move real quick.
you got that Pennsylvania internet's not coming through right now.
No, it's taking its time. Uh, do they have it? Order online. Okay, here we go. No, I don't want to sign up for anything. I just want to view your menu, please. Nope, that's not even it. Oh my
It's not
goodness.
happening. It's not happening. Let it
It's
go.
ah no. Oh, I want. Ah no. Okay. Anyway, you're having it looks there was meat. All right. I mean, you're probably okay.
Good.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
stress too much.
we'll be fine. It'll be better than the potluck that I normally have at my events. So
Hey, listen, your wife makes some tasty food that you bring to that potluck, so it's pretty good. Anyway, so yeah, Brewhammer will be good. I look forward to listening to you talk about. Maybe I'll call you Sunday if you're in a good mood on your drive home to talk about the event.
oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I'll have an episode up tomorrow morning, with this one, and then we'll have one up Sunday or Monday talking about it. Yeah, that'd be fun. Or maybe we could. Oh, maybe I'll try YouTube Live with you. That would be exciting.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's move over. Let's talk about something else that's some news recently that kind of plays into this because I did notice that obviously Brewhammer's using Best Coast pairings, so they're likely going to submit to ITC. I bet because Columbus is a very competitive scene. They don't seem to have any sort of reservations with ITC, uh, from what I can tell. Now, granted, it
Yeah.
didn't openly say if they are, so who knows? Up to the events. So.
I will say, once upon a time, I was a little reserved about it and everything.
Mhm.
Just, about, I didn't know how uber competitive it was going to turn things. Most of my concerns have been alleviated, and I'm not really, I'm down for it. ITC doesn't bother me at all. So, and besides, somebody's got to come in last in the rankings, and you're looking at that guy right here.
There you go. You need to race to the bottom. Yeah, it's
That's right.
yeah, it's an interesting thing for Age of Sigmar. I listened to Rob on Wargamer today talk about it on one of his shows. I had it on, and he's like, "Oh, most 40K people use it," which is true. He says, "I think a few American AOS people use it," which, Rob, I just want to tell you, a lot of America uses it. So, quick rundown for anyone who's maybe not American or who is American and wants to know what the layout looks like. And I'm going to say this with authority of the fact that when Age of Sigmar first began, I helped organize the US community, getting connected with Games Workshop, and helping that connection start up and made that first US community pack, which at this point that's so far useless. Like we don't need it. We have GHBs, we have all this other great stuff. But I spent a lot of time connecting with lots of people these past 7 years across the country, and learning what their different regions are like, and attending events all across this country, with exception of the Northwest. I haven't been there yet. But anyway, so I say this with the authority of someone who actually knows what they're talking about with the US scene. There is, from what I can tell, 5 different regions. So there's, well, maybe it's 4. Hold on. Yes, with authority. Let me second guess myself. So let me just run through it. So there's the Northeast, very competitive scene. Or call ourselves the Beast Coast. It kind of runs up along the edge of Pennsylvania. Obviously, Bill Sousa's in Pittsburgh along with me. I did claim Akron, your area, as part of the East Coast, and the Midwest guys didn't fight me. I'm also going to claim Columbus too.
They gave that away, huh?
They gave it away. Uh, so like I mean that whenever you get to the borders, there's no hard and fast borders. It's gonna blur. That's what the nature of the world is. So somewhere in Ohio is kind of like where the East Coast now officially ends in my book, as far as the mindset of things in general. So competitive focus, likes ITC, enjoys the competitive nature. Still plenty of great, more relaxed, narrative focused events in general. Then there's Florida. So you have Florida, and the reason I say Florida, and in Florida it goes up to like probably like the lower Carolinas. They're just more of a relaxed crew. They have a bunch of small sects within themselves, separate sects of. I'm sex, SECTS. I sound like
Yeah, no, I got you.
my tongue is dry. It sounds like I'm saying sex to myself, but I'm not. So they're not really like a formed scene, but there's a bunch of small groups that kind of coalesce together, which is pretty neat. And then you have the Midwest. So the Midwest is kind of like, they've been around a long time. They had a very strong scene back in fantasy, also during the early outset with Age of Sigmar, and truly they have so many great events, and you won't see them travel much. And I'm trying to, I'm not trying to like downplay this and make it seem like it's bad. But they don't have to travel. They have so many great events that they just kind of keep to themselves. Now, that turns to something that's maybe not so great, and they kind of only focus on themselves a little bit in certain ways, not always. But I've noticed that they kind of are more reserved and insular on views on things within the Warhammer community. Then you have Texas. And Texas, I think they go up to, like, we can count it going up to Denver. Boy, they are probably the strongest, best scene out there. They have their own masters. They have amazing players. They're a great bunch of men and women out there. And they have those different clubs, but they all interact and they all play together and have their own thing going. It's remarkable, and I count my lucky stars. I got to meet a lot of them this past year and get to know them and just hang out with them so much. They're all of them. They're wonderful. And then you have the West Coast. So far we've had Northeast, Florida, Midwest, Texas, and now West Coast. Yeah, so 5. Okay, so I had it right in my head. West Coast is kind of like the East Coast. Obviously Frontline's out there. ITC's been a big thing within the 40K community out there. I mean, let's be honest. If you don't know the history of 40K, 40K was dying during the dark times of GW support, and ITC saved it. That's it. Full stop. 40K probably would have died in America if it wasn't for the ITC doing what they did for it. Now they don't have to do as much, which is great. Now they're just a ranking system as opposed to like ruling and all this and making their own scenarios and stuff like that. But they're very similar mindset to the East Coast guys and gals. Competitive focus, like the ranking, like to compete. Still fun narrative events out there, but it's just the opposite side of the coin. And they're the best coast. That's why the East Coast is the Beast Coast, because you gotta have fun with the names, I guess. So there's ITC, and as far as I can tell, now not everybody. There's going to be different groups and people individually amongst everybody, and everyone's entitled and has the right to their own opinion and views. And I'm not knocking any single one of them. If you like ITC and ranking, great. I'm one of the ones that's with you. I do like it. I think what Reese and them has done is great. If you're one of the ones that doesn't like it, great. You guys do you, because you're probably doing it well. Like it is what it is. So that's the long explanation of it.
Yeah.
Now, I also will caveat this in a little bit. I noticed that most of the resistance to this is in the Midwest, and I think some of it is there needlessly. I have, right or wrong, I have my views of why I think it's needless. But like I said, it's their right to, not like it and not participate. 100%. That's that's freedom. That's what the world's about. At least America, freedom. Do what you want. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you want to do it, do it. Cool. Move on with yourselves. And we'll all play Warhammer and have a good time. But Warhammer and the ITC have paired up, kind of officially. I would say this kind of maybe turned into early stages during the U.S. Open, because we were submitting to the events. We were using BCP. It's a good tool. It's not the only tool out there, but now it's just been officially formalized, and it's going to be more support for people across the world. Uh, and we'll go through the article here. But Neil, do you have any more thoughts about this? Am I bashing a region of the U.S.
Oh,
Age of Sigmar community needlessly, or is this like the
well,
same things you've seen in part?
no, like I said, I had a different, evolution with it as well. So, I at one point kind of gave it the fisheye myself. But, as long as, things don't get to a point, which they aren't, by the way, I want to say that they are not. There's no like money prizes or
Mm-hmm.
anything like
Yeah,
that. And
100%.
from everything I know about it, there's no plans to ever do that, So, um, so to me, it's just it's a good way to rank things. I've used best coast pairings before. It's
It's
pretty
had it's
simple.
it's had ups
I
and
know
downs. It's
it's
better now than it
yeah,
was a year ago, and they constantly work to
right.
improve it.
And as as apps go, that was always going to happen, right?
Well, see,
There is no perfect app. So
here's the thing too. You don't have to use BCP for this either. You don't have to use BCP to submit to ITC. You can use whatever you want. You can use literally Excel spreadsheet if you have your own system that works. That's fine.
yeah,
Like I said,
yeah,
it's just easy to combine those two because BCP makes it really easy to submit to ITC and all that. But,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, I kind of agree with you too. And like I said, I know Reese personally, and I've talked to him. I guess we'll call it on the we're friends, but like I'll call it on the professional talk. About the communities and stuff like that. And I told him that no one in the Age of Sigmar community wants prize support from anything I can see, and I think that's still the case. I don't, I so I have no idea why they would ever want to change that. And there's no intention to, from everything I've seen and heard from talking to the guys directly related to the ITC.
Yeah.
They just want to help make this game better and this community more connected.
I will say too, getting back to best coast pairings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've run a lot of events now. I think I've been doing it for like 5 years. They're not big events by any stretch.
Nope. Yep.
I will say, there's to be said for the
Oh.
list pairings and how easy and simple that is. Compared to me sitting there trying to write an email or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's really no comparison. So, there's some really good things about it.
Yeah, there is. And I apologize for the audience. Neil, you're in and out a little bit, but not in enough of a way for us to call a show an end. You dropped like every other word for a few seconds there, but I think people understood the gist of what you're saying.
Yeah, well,
I mean, you're driving right now. I guess we should say that.
I,
Neil's driving to
I,
the
I,
event.
lit-
Oh, I might have spoken too soon. He's all quiet now. Oh boy. Neil, if you can hear me, just jump back in whenever you can here. So for right now, we'll go through kind of this article a little bit. So what does ITC mean for us with the partnership with Games Workshop? How's this going to affect us, the people who are going to be TOing events, playing in events, all that sort of stuff? So first and foremost, there's going to be more for the players according to this article. And let's be truthful, there's going to be a little bit of vagueness. This is an early announcement. Things aren't really set in stone. Things will change, things will evolve. It's just the nature of it here. So every participant in the ITC tournament or event, as you see right here, no matter how big or small, will have a chance to win an invitation to a special annual event. will cover your travel and accommodation. So that's nice. Just from playing in any event that submits to the ITC, your name will be entered. Uh, you know, what special annual event? I'm assuming this will be the U.S. final type thing. Maybe not like obviously as like a finals participant, but on some capacity, or maybe to one of the U.S. Opens. That's assumptions. I will say this, even though I am technically someone who is a TO and a paid TO for the U.S. Opens. I don't know anything about this other than what you guys know. Obviously, being part time, I'm very need to know basis. So these are all going to be just my thoughts and opinions, but there's no real insider knowledge here. So if you're looking for that in this video, I apologize. It's not really here. So outside of that, then we got the see that there will be a host of new events and formats on offer. So I'm not really sure exactly what that means. Events, awards, and recognize your skills and achievements. Okay, so maybe GW will give out more trophies, things like that. Those hammers are pretty cool. Be nice to be able to go to events, try and win them a little more often. I haven't won one yet. I'd like to win one. I won't lie. And we'll be amping up rewards and recognition for the hobby track, which I love that within the ITC. There's the hobby track, which is essentially just the painting score. It's its own separate thing within, and even if you count it as part of your overall winner for these events, it can be separated off and submitted to the hobby track, so you can try and be the best painted army at so many events and scoring. It's a really neat thing. I don't know the details on the hobby track fully well enough to talk about here, but obviously it's all on the Frontline Gaming website. See, going on from there, more for the champions, winners of the major ITC events, be able to compete in Warhammer Final. Obviously, yeah. Winners of any major ITC, which we don't know what a major counts as, so wait and see that. But choice of Warhammer Age of Sigmar 40k digital rules. So I imagine that would just be like codes you get for the app, so you get all the rules access right there in your app. Nice easy way to do it. Very low cost for Games Workshop, but hey, I wouldn't mind getting a free book to try out a new army or whatever if I'm a good enough player. Best in faction winners. So ITC, they do best in faction for Sigmar and 40k. So, and even like Identity Deepkin's a faction, or War Clans is a faction. Just like in 40k, you have best Archangels, best Drakari. You'll get digital rules for the next calendar year. So you won't just get a free rulebook code. You'll probably get codes for every single rule that's going to be out for the app. I imagine when they say digital rules, that's kind of what I'm thinking it's going to be in the app. End of the year ITC winners, you get to choose a 2,000 point army. Straight up. Here's a 2,000. What do you want? 2,000 point army. Go and build it. And those are competitive players. You're going to know exactly what they want. Cost doesn't. They're not. It's not. Hey, here's $1,000 for it. It's nope. 2,000 point army. Doesn't matter. If you choose something that's ridiculously expensive, doesn't matter. 2,000 point army. And I like that. Why not? Like, hey, you did great with this army. Can you do it with another one? Pick another one. And then let's see what else we got here. Top performing ITC finishers. I don't know what top performing will be. Maybe that's the best in each faction. And a chance to be part of the all new balanced data slate feedback group, which is very nice to see. The more people that can contribute to any sort of like play testing in a way. I guess this isn't play testing, but reviewing rules and saying, hey, how can we correct this? Because you guys have been breaking the rules for an entire year, so how can we correct some of these things if we haven't corrected them yet? It's very cool to see. Now, as a tournament organizer here, let's see what else we get. So make sure the appropriate organizers, judges have codex and battle tomes, which this is something that we've been pushing for years within the Age of Sigmar community with Games Workshop. If we're a TO for a big event, can we have the rules for everything? It just be convenient. At first, back then, it was like PDF copies, so maybe I can see why they were hesitant. But now on the app, hey, if you're a TO, here's a code. All the rules. Go ahead. Why not? It just helps. And it's a nice little benefit for people who TO events. Not every TO is going to be out there to make money. Most TOs are probably losing money. So it's a little benefit for them to have all the rules to do what they want. Because then they can understand the rules better for the event, make rules calls clearer, and then, like I said, it's a perk. If they decide to start an army out of the blue, they have the rules. Increasing amount of terrain and other product support available, which is great. I know at Nova, GW was very, very generous in their terrain for Nova early on. Now, that was right when I took it on, which was a couple years before COVID, so kind of screwed things up a little bit. But more support to these events, the better. I mean, having a few extra pieces of GW terrain mixed in with like your 3D printed or your handmade terrain, fantastic. This next one I really like. Tournament organizers will have a chance to join a TO advisory group. So to help teach and educate, share ideas amongst people. I'm a big fan of this. I mean, one thing that I've suggested to powers that be across multiple entities, not going into details or names, was to have like a certification type program where like CrossFit does at Magic Gathering. So, if you run an event each year, you can be like this level. I don't know if there'd be testing involved, but like, hey, I'm a basic TO. I need some basic help. Absolutely. Here you go. Hey, I'm a mid-tier regional level TO. Need some help on a different level as well as a national event. Like, if you're TOing a US Open event or like LVO, Depticon, Nova, you have different things in your mind than you do as someone who's running the club day event per se. And then let's see, organizers will obviously participate in a balanced data slate. They've been answering the questions all year from these top players who are trying to break the game with these rules, so they understand, what the issues are. It's out there. And then, of course, Warhammer Plus members get extra. Yeah, Warhammer Plus is gonna get extra stuff. That's all great. And I wasn't someone who subscribed to Warhammer Plus, even though I know it's kind of weird, but like I finally gave in. There's enough for me there to warrant it. So and these extra perks will be nice for many people. Markers, counters, widgets, mission cards that at the US Open events were huge. Absolutely everyone loved them. It just makes things great. Extra things even better. So yeah, that's the general gist of that there. Unfortunately, it looks like we did lose Neil, so I'll just go ahead and wrap up this here. I hope everyone who is heading to the Brewhammer event has a great time, is safe. Take lots of pictures. Definitely be on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can see my handle below, strengthhammer_. Also Instagram, I'll try and repost as many of those pictures that I can find throughout this weekend as I'm sitting here alone in my cold, dark basement building Drukhari, which is my current plan for my new Drukhari army. Yeah, just check it online. Looks like to be a fun weekend. And yeah, everybody have fun, be safe. As always, stay Stormcast strong.
Right. I'm back. Maybe.
You're
Hopefully.
back. That's perfect timing. Perfect timing. Okay, so if you've stayed past this, that means you actually care about us, because I never wrapped up the video. But we got Neil back. He's got his reception again. So Neil, any closing thoughts on ITC, the GW stuff, the more support for players and TOs that you wanna bring up, or anything else you just want to bring up right now?
No. I think I pretty much covered ITC and best coast pairings and everything that as far as getting more support for TOs, I think is always it's
Mhm.
always going to be good. Just from where I'm coming from on that, but yeah, one final thought too is sorry, my wipers are going here.
Hear the ice.
Yeah, is I'm just really impressed with the growth of the scenes out here. Ohio, Pittsburgh,
Hmm.
Columbus. For a long time, it's just kind of what we were doing up in Northeast Ohio, and the goal was always, when Age of Sigmar started, was to just get more people involved with it, and
Yep.
grow it, and everything. And now we've got a big event back in Columbus. Pittsburgh's about to throw, I think, what, a 40-50 man event in the next couple months.
Yep.
So I know I'm going to continue to do my my narrative event as well. So if that is up anybody's alley, we'll talk more about that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Later.
Do you have any general time frame for that yet?
I'm thinking it's going to be late spring,
Okay. Okay.
maybe very early summer. I'm thinking maybe May.
All right. So
So
I should have my new Daughters of Cain book out by then. Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
see, there you go. So yeah, I'd like to run it maybe when it's not 1,000 degrees
Yeah.
in the shop and everything. So that'd be nice. So, but that's what I'm thinking. I'll talk to you guys more about that another time. But yeah, just really pleased with the scene right now.
All right. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. As I mentioned in the first closeout, that I will retweet anything I can find from this event. But Neil, since you'll be there, you'll probably post a few pictures yourself. So where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at Neil LaRocca, and I will be posting, yeah, pretty much each one of my games and if I can get a little video chat with one of my opponents afterwards, I'll try and post up those as well.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you do it. I mean, if it's tomorrow evening and you're getting sloppy with a few people at that brewery, you call me up. I'll start hitting record right away. We'll have a good time.
Sounds great.
All right, Neil. Good luck at the event, and I guess we'll talk to you in a few days. See how you did.
All right, great.